another video! Tui T. Sutherland, author of the Wings of Fire series, recently went on a podcast to talk about a ton of interesting details regarding the books. We have a preview of what lies ahead, including the novel count of Arc 4, finally being confirmed after all this time, a sneak peek of a remaining mystery, and a possible plot twist on the rise. Learn all about this here with me today as I break down the latest Wings of Fire updates. But before we begin, a huge shout out to my patrons! 𝙈𝙊𝙍𝙁𝙀, The Soul, Nuke, 𝙁𝙗𝙗, Avril, Pancake, 𝙈𝙤𝙁𝙁𝙁, Adequin, Alice Cleaver, Moonclaw, Isaac, Iris, 𝙈𝙤𝙁𝙁𝙁, Pantala Resident, 𝙤𝙗 the Furwing, Crystal, Phantom the Dragon, and Turtle the Sea Wing. Thank you all so much for supporting me. Links to our social medias are in the description down below. Anyways, without further ado, let's get into the video. In a worrying message from the Scholastic CEO last year, it was brought up how Arc 4 would only be composed of 3 books. To clear up confusion, Dewey had this to clarify. No matter how long this next story goes on for, Arc 4 will have 5 books. If she concludes the current story in 3, then the remaining 2 of the arc will still happen, just focusing on a different plot that's still somehow connected and very meaningful. So fanwings, rest easy. We're still having 20 main series novels by the end of this. That is very exciting to hear, oh my gosh! We have so many new storylines, characters, and worlds awaiting us. All of the news over the coming years will, of course, be covered here. This next part of the news video will dive into big spoilers for the Hybrid Prince. So, if you're still waiting on your copy, now is the time to click off. Comment down below whether the idea of 4 more confirmed novels excites you as much as it does me. The quality of book 16 was outstanding, and to get even more of that, sign me up! As the spoilers commence, I want to discuss what exactly might be going on here that leads Tui to believe Arc 4's primary plot might only take up 3 books. It's not planned that way, as she's still figuring out how to end or expand the story. But if it were only 3, how might that change the current mystery? Will it lower the stakes of the missing queens, or will it perhaps speed up the danger until our characters are forced into new conditions really fast? I'm certainly curious how all of this would end up wrapped in just 3, if that's the path Tui takes here. We are due for the first Fanwing Fest soon though, and that's when we'll learn the protagonist of the next book. That'll surely be very telling in mapping out the structure and plot points on the near horizon. I'm just glad to know things won't end at book 18. The Hybrid Prince was too fantastic to be one of the last major pieces of WAF content for now. I'm excited for the future will take us, and certainly can't stop thinking about what 2 potential and linked bonus books may be. Dewey has to figure out what she's doing soon, since teases for those will surely have to start showing up if it's the end choice. And speaking of the Hybrid Prince, in this podcast Tui shared a very interesting detail. One I totally saw coming, but all my friends thought I was crazy. There may be a twist incoming pertaining to the title of this release. Tui officially hinted to us that Mulberry might not be the Hybrid Prince mentioned in the prophecy. I totally called this, and thought there was something up with that title and vision line from the start. So, who is the Hybrid Prince for the prophecy? Well, let's revisit what this future telling actually says. Dragons lost and long forgotten, abandoned in the sunlit isle, ruled by power and betrayal, haunted by an ancient trial. Lines of blood will hold the key as danger threatens from the past, and when the claws are at his throat, the Hybrid Prince will rise at last. Who springs the trap, who saves the queens, and which of them is friend or foe? The smallest claws must choose the path to right a wrong from long ago. But is it wise and is it safe to break the curse and unleash the tide? What happens when the walls come down if something else was trapped inside? I haven't actually done a breakdown video of the new prophecy yet, but you can expect a full one this Sunday in the next upload. To give a sneak peek into that, I think the Hybrid Prince here could be Peacemaker, or possibly one of the dragons in the new eggs. But based on some of the wording, a certain Night Rain seems to be hugely important coming soon. Returning back to the characters of the Hybrid Prince, Dewey had a very intriguing thing to say about Sora's story in this book. Let's take a look. In Book 6, we discovered how deep Sora's trauma was, and she was convinced that Icicle, a soldier on the other side of the war, was the one that killed her sister. Oh man, that is interesting. What a peculiar way of wording it, Tui. It almost sounds like Icicle wasn't Crane's killer. That would certainly change things a ton. Although I do have to say, I will be pretty disappointed if this is the case. I mean, Icicle really being the one to kill Crane in the war had so many layers to it. I don't think her not being that dragon is the right way to continue this plot. It just would make it way easier for understanding to happen. A lot of what I believe is coming wouldn't feel earned, honestly. So it would for sure be shocking, I just can't see where Tui is going with this. With Arc 4 as being 5 books no matter the story confirmed, and some shocking updates regarding this plot, I think it's safe to say there's a sea of content out there for fanwings everywhere. I can't wait for the Book 17 sneak peek we'll be getting at Banding Fest, because it's going to be surprising for sure. But that's pretty much it for this video. What has you the most ready to dive into a world of dragons? Let me know down below. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. It'll be a great one. Bye!